Yeah?
To get snacks?
What the shit? .ogr?
You come here to get snacks?
He harnesses the power of the 7 tards and flips out. Jumps into my cart. Takes bag of chips.
Your snacks?
Tears it to shreds with his teeth. Mom starts walking over. Take your time, Farquaad. Tard rocks over cart. Runs past shelves, knocking all of the bags and boxes off. Belly flops on the chip bags, all of them pop. Mom arrives.
How could you let him do this?
What? .pib? I get snake money. My face for her. Be me, 17, just got paid. Taking little bro to Arby's to get some dinner. Waiting in a long-ass line. See a 300-pound lard-ass neckbeard who was afflicted with the Downs, carrying a Naruto body pillow. Cuts everybody in line and demands a roast beef sandwich. The cashier lady gives in and lets him cut, so she doesn't get fired for upsetting a tard. The man pays for his sandwich and immediately heads for the bathroom. By the time I order our food, I had already forgotten about the lard tard. Sit down with my bros.
So let me know how you guys like this video, comment on it.
Go to the bathroom before we go.
And if you're friends with me on Messenger, you can text me that way too if I don't respond too quickly.
See if he's alright. My brother is throwing up on the ground because of the tard stank and I sweat. The tard is at the sink fucking his roast beef sandwich. Oh god, the fucking smell that.
You can find me on social media platforms like Facebook,
He then proceeds to fuck it.
YouTube, and
The lobby of the
Facebook Messenger.
My face when the man is dragged out with the sandwich still hanging on his dick. My face when my 5-year-old brother is now scared of roast beef. Be in middle school, probably like 14. Remembrance Day assembly. Have to do a moment of silence then. There's slight squeaking in the back of gym. Target starts to moaning. I can feel the smoke coming on. Groaning becomes screaming. Squeaking becomes thrashing. Kids start howling. Trying so hard not to laugh, I tense up my entire body. Other tards start to yell.
Sorry guys, it's light glare, so it's hard to see my screen. It's different for when it's at nighttime. This is nighttime, I can see my screen perfectly fine. I just don't understand why I can't see it at the end of the day. It's like it's too much light glare.
Until this severely overweight neckbeard tard walks into the restaurant wearing a toy infinity gauntlet. If this gonna be bad that way. Decide to fuck with the tard while it walks by.
Nice lightsaber, Batman.
He shrieks with the force of 1,000 kazooers.
Yeah, I'm not Batman, it's just
Ow, my ears.gif. It proceeds to pull me out of my seat and punch me in the chest with its toy glove with the force of 1,000 Mexicans. In complete shock, unable to move, I took punch after punch to the chest. And my lazy-ass friends just sat there watching until they realized I couldn't keep taking punches. It took all 5 of my friends to restrain this sack of shit. They waited for its wrangler to come in and take the tard away while I lay there in pain and wheezing, trying to breathe. After 20 minutes, they took me to the hospital to make sure that I didn't have any broken ribs. It wasn't anything serious, just a badly bruised chest. I'm still kind of sick, so it thinks I tried to cough. Fuck you, Thanos Tard.
But yeah, it shouldn't take too long to get to where I'm going.
In the cafeteria due to the size of the class.
I mean, this is what I'm about to do, the event I'm about to do, is personally one of my favorites called drifting. You do a lot of drift, earn points, and depending on how much points you get determines just how much cash you get. You can get up to like 2,000 cash if you do it correctly. Like if you get first place, you get up to 2,000 cash.
That's when he starts screaming and flailing, twists his arm back. I simply stare. Tard guard comes in trying to free him. The retard 3 are flailing around, crying. My entire class has stopped to watch the chaos. One of the retard three starts blaming me in his sputtering retard tone. What? Fats McGee lets himself lies there in a puddle of his urine pride. Arm still in the vending machine. Firefighters had to come and cut the vending machine to shit to free him.
And yes, I did upgrade my car a little.
His eyes aloft.
Gave it a little bit of a different style look,
I see him.
as you can obviously see.
This drives me to
It's
suck.
a little hard to see in the dark though, because of the paint job,
Ironically,
which I might fix that
his retard three walked in out of the blue and Sidney rests.
after I do this event.
Doing? Retard looks at me, starts emitting this horrible screech gurgle noise. My face went.
Hi, Kruger.
The noise continues. Start preparing to evacuate the class. Fats McGee suddenly lowers his head. Vomits all over the fucking desk. All over the floor. There are undigested
Glad to see you in my channel.
out of his stomach acid. The other three tartlets that follow Fats McGee.
I might change the color of this car to green.
Get Targuard. Targuard.
Give a slightly updated paint job.
Play kickball on the baseball field. There's three of them up in my room. Oh, will you bring them up?
This will be the second video I'll post for Need for Speed.
Targuard rounds up Fats McGee and the retard 3. Walks out. Doesn't do anything about the vomit desk.
Yeah, no, I want to try forest greens, like a little bit of
After the first incident,
either forest green or lemon green.
working on some school stuff. At this point, I'm trying to get my master's. You're running in the hall.
That or I might go blue.
Fats McGee and his retard 3 are running down the hall.
I just want to get a color that actually stands out in the dark, you know.
Stare as they burst into
That way it makes it a little bit more easier to see.
back. Please go. You're disrupting my classroom. Tar walks in. Stares. I stare back. Lets out the same high-pitched gurgle noise. A noise I've come to call the Song of the Tard. Starts trying to take the pile of essays I'm grading. What the fuck? Stop. Targuard walks in. Oh, there you are.
Oh, there. Oh, there. Oh.
Miss Targuard
Because we managed to lose their tards.
coughs slightly.
Please.
Well,
They can't help it. I personally don't agree that they can't help it.
Because I have a special ed family member who doesn't act like that. Please leave.
Bitch 3000 mode engaged.
I get pitched up. Go to the principal's office with Targuard.
He got all uppity because my special ed student entered his classroom. He must hate special ed.
Why weren't they with you? Darkness goes quiet. She gets fired 2 weeks later. My face went. Cramming for my final exam in childhood education to get my master's. Class is taking notes while I press shit on power.
So what you been doing, Kruger?
Suddenly hear a girl in my class scream. Stand up, expecting someone to have a knife because I teach in one of the shittiest schools in the nation. Fats McGee and his retard 3 have walked in and started screaming retard speech at this girl, trying to steal her orange mantle. No interest about how to handle this fucking shit. Grab Fats McGee by his chub arm. Fats starts screaming and struggling. His buddies start crying. Don't even care. Drag Fats McGee back to the toy cage, open the comfort dome. Throw open door during quiet time. Scream at Targuard. Second
And I hope your week goes good.
one of you have been fired because of it. Lord,
Currently it's Tuesday, so I did get my Ozempic injection today.
Walk back to classroom, but not before seeing the Fats have royally shit himself. Bad enough that it doesn't even look like a stain. It looks like actual shit is dribbling from his pants. Back all the way back to my classroom. Slam door. Let students watch Man vs. Wild for the rest of class. Hand sanitize so much the rest of the girls start taking skin off. Don't even give a fuck. Fats must be a sophomore about this point. I have my master's and plan on working on my doctorate soon. I've become the baseball coach because the previous one was arrested for diddling the pickle of students. Lead students towards field for fourth block, which is practice
But yeah, like I said, if I don't answer right away, just give me time. I'll get to the text messages when I can. And
field for third block.
like if we're friends on Messenger, you can reach me that way too.
Starts roaming in the house, doing her job. Fats McGee decides to continue what will be a war until he graduates. Fats looks at me, starts running away from the Tard Guard. Tard Guard begins pursuit. Fats runs up the bleachers. He gets to the top and hurls his blue jeans at the Tard Guard. The Tard Guard is pegged and now wrapped in shit-covered blue jeans. Fats is showing immense stamina, capable of running while creating a massive fucking trail. He spins every time a guard gets close, becoming a literal whirlwind of shit. Tard points at me, finally stops running. My face went. We practiced in the gym that day. Later the same year as the baseball field incident, it's homecoming day, which means we don't do shit. And there are various activities.
But let me know how you like this video.
Sitting on bleachers studying because I'm a fucking nerd. Here planking.
Make sure to give it plenty of likes, as that could help my channel reach out where we grow.
Cool slide the bullies do in the movies and ends up slamming into me. The stink. He smelled like 4-day-old boiled cabbage that had been left out in the sun and marinated in piss and horse jizz. His retard 3 sit in front of me, facing me. Female friend passes by, is clearly pleased by my friendliness towards the tards. Choose to accept brownie points, but hope in my heart that the look of terror on my face betrays the idea I'm being friendly. The 3 are still staring. One is drooling, and it's starting to pool on my book. Can you stop that? Fats is screeching in my ear. Life starts flashing before my eyes. Baseball player walks up, starts making loud noises, telling the retards to go the fuck away. I become best friends with a player of mine, Ray. He'll be important later. Begin plotting my revenge. Notice there's shit stains on the bleacher next to me, and the book I was reading is ruined. Move to a new bleacher. Resume revenge plot. Second semester of Fat's sophomore year. There have been many minor events between Part 5 and 6, but nothing that wouldn't be much more than a repeat. Has been dealing with Fats McGee shit for 2.5 years now. Me and Ray, who is a senior, have become steadfast allies against the Tard menace. I discover that I'm going to have to cancel practice the day before a big game because of a disco-themed prom for the Tard Empire. Begin plotting with Ray. Ray finds Fats' friends alone at some point. He gives Fats' friends $15 to, in the middle of the prom, whip his dick out and start rubbing Fats with it. Ray convinces me to go to prom where he's being a peer buddy, telling me that it'll be worth it. Sitting, being bored and irritated at Ray. Suddenly, one of the retard 3 whips out his dick and starts rubbing it against Fats. Fats panics and starts screeching. Tard Guard is otherwise occupied. Oh my god, Ray, you didn't. Oh my god, I totally did, Coach. Suddenly, Fats goes into rage mode, final form. Fats whips out his own chode-like Tard penis and starts dueling his friend, screaming in Tard rage. The Tard friend has no idea. Fats suddenly grabs his Tard friend and hurls him into a big plastic pillar they set up for pictures. The pillar falls, nearly crushing the Tard Guard. All hell breaks loose. Fats has removed his pants completely and is waving his dick around, pissing on everything. The retard 3 have all started cock-dueling. I'm staring, awestruck, at what Ray has wrought. Fats looks at me. Oh, fucking Jesus, it's the end here. Fats slams into me at full retard speed and starts screaming in my face. Ray pulls him off, but gets in trouble later for attacking the kid because of Ultimate Mother bitch mode. I stand, covered in Tard urine and shit. Will shower forever when I get home. I think at that point Fats realized how bad he fucked up, because he just started crying. Thus, the beginning of the end had arrived. I was forced to remove Ray from the team because of the prom incident, but we're still fast friends even after he graduates. I'm entering my 3rd year of teaching and Fats' junior year. It's taken all summer, but I finally figured out my plan. I can't get damaged in school, or they'd find a way to blame me or the school. I have to find a way to get Fats to damage me outside of school. I know for a fact Fats is turning 18 soon because he was held back a year in middle school, so I could get him tried as an adult. I use a cookie to befriend one of his retard 3, and now have a spy in the base. I learned that Fats' birthday is March 30th.
May take me a while to find a good color.
Excellent. While I plan, I continue being a good teacher, and am close to getting my PhD. One day, after moving to a new classroom, Fats begins to fade from my mind because I'm not so close to him. And then it happens. Finally, March rolls around, April 1st comes. It is time. I start learning Fats' pattern, what he does for fun. It turns out Fats is an avid fan of movies and loves going to the cinema. Finally, I use my spy to learn when Fats is going to be at a movie. I drive to the theater and spot Fats in line. It's time. I prepare myself before walking towards the movie. I don't let him see me until we're in the concession line. Just my luck. They made fresh popcorn and he had a bucket. This is going to hurt really fucking bad, but it will be worth it. Fats turns around. Mouth. Found you, fuck nugget. Fats starts screaming. Sing me to my sleep, B. Incoming final boss battle. Stare down Fats. Fats starts freaking the fuck out and shaking. Mother turns towards me, eyes widen as she recognizes me. Just grin. Fats suddenly throws the steaming popcorn at me and lunges on me. I'm getting wailed on by a retard. Security suddenly comes and yanks him off. Spot one security guard that looks familiar. Holy shit, it's Ray. Police are called because I'm bleeding. I press charges. His mother rages and says I provoked him. Teachers from school testify that Fats was always incredibly aggressive and rage-filled. Every incident he ever caused is brought into it. Fats is found guilty as an adult of 4th-degree assault and is given 9 months in jail, plus a $5,000 fine. I walk out of the warehouse and stare up at the clouds. It is finished. No matter what happens, no matter how old I get, I'll never forget Fats McGee and his retard 3. And if you ever plan on tarding it up in my school, just remember who stands between you and chaos, you sniveling little down shit. And thus ends the tale of Fats McGee.
I'm gonna do one more event before posting this road, maybe a couple others.
In 5th grade, be in AI class. It's like advanced shit for smart kids. The teachers decided it's a good idea for us to spend a day with the Tard kids because we were ahead of schedule for the marking period. I had never seen a Tard previous to this encounter, so I did not know what to expect. Walk into the Tard HQ. It seems to be a regular classroom filled with ugly-ass kids. Everybody is assigned their own personal Tard to talk to. I get assigned Neil. I walk up to the Tard and say, "Hello, I'm Phil."
Okay.
One fluent word, "Hey Phil." He says this whenever he is within 30 feet of me. And it becomes my only warning of the inevitable oncoming shitstorm. Sit down and see he is cutting paper. Ask him what he's making.
Raise.
What? The Tard starts to make this screeching sound. The only thing I can compare it to is the sound of a fucking raptor. A fat downy Tard runs up to us.
Stupid.
Neil gets up and continues his Raptard roar directly in her face. Downy Tard goes batshit, engages Tard strength, and flips the entire table over. Neil not only continues his Tard roar, but moves closer to the Downy child. Down Kid just starts screaming and tries to run for the door, forgets to open it and smashes into it head first. K.O. Neil silences his roar, sits down and continues cutting the paper as if nothing had happened. All my one.jpg. Tard wranglers run in and retrieve Neil and the Downy child. They are both sent home. And that, my friends, is the first of my many stories of Neil. Just tell me if you want more. After our first fateful encounter, I hadn't seen Neil for a while, so this story takes place about 3 months after my previous story. Be walking down the hall with friends to lunch. Talking about usual 5th grade shit, Pokemon and whatnot. Your faint yet memorable voice.
Hey, Tail.
And I'm hoping to eventually get nitrous on my car.
Hear the sound yet again, except this time directly in my ear.
Hey, Tail.
So I want to try to get nitrous on it. That'll help out for when I do street races.
The other direction previously.
Make it easier to get away from the cops.
Later encounters. Wave awkwardly to him. Hey, Neil. He extends a bag of Cheetos he had in his hand in my direction.
You want some?
No thanks, Neil. My friend, not knowing the kind of devastation Neil is capable of, reaches over and grabs one of the Cheetos out of the bag without asking. Neil looks up with pure malice. Oh fuck, not again.
But this is how my car looks now. It's got black color on the front of the hood.
Short bursts. It appears as if he has to...
It kind of reminds me of that one sports street car from Power Rangers RPM.
Friend backs away as Neil approaches.
This is how Red Ranger's car exactly looks.
Violent tard roar and hurls himself at my friend, knocking him over. He jams his hand into my friend's mouth and retrieves the liquidy remnants of the Cheeto, while continuing his tard roar directly in his face. Stands up and eats liquidy, half-eaten Cheeto after silencing his roar. Tard Wrangler comes speeding down the hallway and grabs Neil by the wrist to pull him back to Tard HQ. Waves at me.
Thank you.
Not a single ounce of regret or any emotion for that matter in his eyes. I wave at him in utter awe. Why, Neil? You guys want more? Neil, Part 3. Battle of the Tards. You see, Neil mainly kept to himself. He did not like his Tard kind. But he had an extreme dislike for one Tard named James. This is the first of their battles that I saw. Be in 6th grade now. New AI teacher is a very avid Tard supporter. We are now going to help the Tards out once a week for the entire year. I enter the Tard HQ and see Neil sitting in the corner. Hasn't grown an inch since last year. Turns out he will remain 5'0" for his entire life. He looks as if he is in total concentration reading a book. I walk up to Neil. Hey bud, what you reading? He gives me one of those toothy Tard grins.
Hey, Tail.
Sit next to him and look at the book. Dr. Seuss's A Cat in a Hat. A tall, skinny kid walks over towards us. I could tell that he was a dick from the second I saw him.
What are you reading, Neil?
Snatches book out of Neil's hand.
This book is for babies.
Nick gets up.
Give it back, James.
James holds it above his head.
Turtle.
Neil's rage is apparent. It is that of 1,000 suns. Neil sounds his raptard screech. This is slightly different from his roar. Its sole effect is to piss off other Tards.
Stop it, Neil. Take your book.
Too late for that, bud. Neil continues to approach.
Almost there. It's not much longer.
As far as he can reach. Screech continues. At this point, Tard HQ is compromised. Tards are going crazy. Crayons and shit are being thrown. One Tard was curled into a ball in a puddle of piss. AI class is told to evacuate. I stayed to watch the imminent lulls. James is now clenching his ears for dear life. Neil is finally within striking distance of James. He throws his mighty fist down into James's nuts with the accumulative force of 1,000 bandhammers. James drops and begins to throw up onto magic carpet. Neil silences the screech, picks up the book James had stolen from him, and sits down to read it directly in James's pile of throw-up. But why? .jpg. He looks up at me with that toothy grin as I just stare. Tard Wranglers bust in. One grabs me and pulls me to safety. The others grab the debilitated James and Neil. Neil screams after me, "Bye, Neil!" I just watch as he is...
So these events are a good way to earn cash without having to worry about
That day
cops.
is known as End Day.
Oh, too
High
much.
school. Neil, Part 3. In second marking period now. Neil has been suspended for pulverizing James's nuts. He's back now. I have started to look forward to our days helping the Tards just because of Neil. Unfortunately, it's not that day. Be in our class. The teacher says we have a tard coming to our class from now on because the school has started a new integration program for tards. Neil walks through the fucking door. Class, this is Neil. Hello, Neil, we say in unison as I waved. Teacher lets him sit next to me because he knows me. James walks into class after him. Oh shit, they forgot JPG. James has introduced class and is put at the same table as us just by luck. We are starting watercolor painting right now. Neil decides he wants to paint an apple because that's what I was painting. James starts shit with this because he's a dick.
Your apples look like shit.
Neil ignores him because
He's fucking Neil and he doesn't give a fuck.
James, obviously angered by being ignored by me and Neil, pours all of his paint onto my painting. Don't give a fuck, but Neil sure as hell did. Commence Raptard War, short burst mode. This is when I found out that the short burst means he's about to wreck shit. Neil throws all his paint right into James's eyes as the class looks on with horror. James can't see shit, and Neil has taken out Skittles that I assumed he had hidden in the force.
Not much.
I found out he's unscrupulous
I don't know.
in a later instant and begins pelting James with them. He's hurling these at Mach 5 speeds into him. James falls off the stool he's sitting on and brings the girl sitting next to him along too. Neil walks around the table, picks up the paint and slowly empties it onto both James and the girl. It is apparent that Neil does not give two shits about civilian casualties. The roar has stopped. Kids are all huddled into the corner aside from me, the two tards and the poor girl caught in the mix. Teachers signal for tard wranglers outside. James and Neil are picked up and taken from the classroom. Neil is in complete and utter peace from being carried away. He simply waves at me.
Very cool.
And that was the end of the school's integration program after the girl who got wreck's parents attempted to sue the school. Neil, the story of the lightning raptard. Be in 7th grade now. Haven't seen Neil in over a year. He and his parents had moved to a different school district, possibly due to the previously mentioned problems with this one. Be in the 3rd marking period. It's okay, not the same without Neil though. Walking down the hall one day, lo and behold, Neil is walking down the hall, all 5 feet of him. Run up to him. Hey Neil, you coming back to school again? He now has his own personal tard wrangler at all times except for lunch, who explains everything to me. Unfortunately, I have no classes with Neil due to the whole integration system being destroyed by the wrath of Neil. I see him in the halls all the time, though. You see, the thing about our middle school is that it has multiple buildings, which you have to travel outside to get to. As I mentioned before, Neil possesses lightning speed, which he doesn't display very often. One day, while I am walking to woodshop with my friends, I see something blaze past me, followed by a familiar noise. The lightning raptard's mighty roar. 50 feet behind him is the wrangler, unable to keep up with him. Everybody looks on in shock as Neil plows directly through a small Asian girl carrying her books. As previously stated, Neil doesn't give two shits about civilian casualties. Neil looks behind to see how far he is from the wrangler. He silences his roar as he can see he has won. Neil fails to see the glass door directly in front of him, though, and plows through it, just as he did the Asian girl. Neil is out. Tard Wrangler finally catches up and picks up Neil to bring him back to Tard HQ, just as he comes back to consciousness. Neil sees me as he's being carried away.
Yippee.
Neil is back, everybody. Be in 6th grade still, only a week left of school. Neil has been rather quiet lately, mainly because me and my friends now let him sit with us at lunch and whatnot, because he has never disrupted anything.
And that's all for this video.
Possibility of Neil unleashing his
Stay
wrath.
tuned for next time.
So James wasn't near him without Tard Wrangler.